So what does the new Betaflight and the DJI Mavic here have in common? Well, they have the pause button on the remote control. Look at this. It's just sitting there, no hands. Hi, I'm Bill and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to install the new release of Betaflight 2025.12. This version actually has position hold and altitude hold like you just saw. What we're going to do is go through all of the steps it takes to install this. That'll be the second half of this video. Right now what I'm going to do is get this in the air and show you how it works. There are a couple of things that you need to do when you first start your flight to make this work properly, and I'm going to show it to you. So let's go ahead and get in the air. As you can see there, I've got 29 satellites already on my GPS unit, so this little M10 from GepRC is working really well. This one does not have a compass built into it, so we need to do this step to get the position hold and altitude hold to work. All we're going to do is we're going to power up the quad here. We're going to fly off, and we should fly off in a straight line and try not to put much input into it. We want to make sure that the home point icon there that you can see is pointing straight back to me. And in this case, with so many satellites, it's actually doing a really nice job. If I turn around here, you can see that it's facing right back towards me. So what we'll do is we'll fly on up here and we'll go ahead and we'll hit the position hold, and I'll show you one more quick trick that I figured out. So we'll fly right up here to the camera and I'll hit the pause button or the position hold button. Now, one thing that I found is that when you're doing this, that if you put the throttle all the way down, it seems to hold its altitude better. I guess that way it's not getting any input from the transmitter itself there. The only problem with that is when you go to take it out of position and altitude hold, where if I would go ahead and press this button now, the quad will drop straight to the ground. So what I want to do is increase my throttle. So I'm going to increase my throttle, and then I'm going to take it out of position hold, and I'm going to go ahead and fly away here. So as you see, there's really not much to it. The biggest thing is you need to make sure you have a lot of satellites, and then make sure that the home point icon is actually pointing back at you. Then you should just have a successful flight. So let's go ahead and go through the steps to install the software on this actual quad. I actually filmed it before we did this, so let's go ahead and get back in the studio and I'll show you exactly how I set this quad up, and you saw the result. It's more than acceptable for the first version with position hold and altitude hold. So now we're at the point that we want to install Betaflight 2025.12 onto our quad here. In the past, we've downloaded the Betaflight app and put it onto our device, being a PC. Usually, in most cases, that's what I've always done. Now we actually go to a web page, which is actually app.betaflight.com. I'll put a link to that in the description. You can actually use that for previous versions of Betaflight. Like this one here, I believe has 4.5.1 on it, but we're going to check that here in a second. So we're on the web page now. The first thing we want to do is obviously plug in our quad. We don't need to power it up yet, but we will be powering it up here in just a few minutes to get our channels mapped out for our remote controller. So now we've plugged in the quad to it. If we go, the first time that you go into Betaflight on the web page, you have to tell it which USB port that you're using. Well, of course, you probably don't know what that is. In the upper right here, it says select your device, and I'm just going to say I can't find my USB. Over here on the left, it says that it's a Betaflight flight controller, so I'm going to say connect on that. Now, it's actually connected between the PC and the quad, but not between the flight controller and Betaflight, so I'm just going to click connect over here. As we can see, it's hooked up to our quad. If I move the quad a little bit, you can see on the screen there it moves. And over here, the firmware version is 4.5.1, which is what I thought it was, because pretty much I've updated all my quads that have GPS to that because of the GPS rescue features that were added in 4.5. The next thing that we want to do before we flash the firmware is I do it a little bit differently. I know a lot of people just back up the CLI, which we're certainly going to do that. But I like to do a few screen captures of different things the ports I usually do, the PIDs and the filters. So it's easier to transfer the data. What I usually do is just dump in the old CLI. When there's warnings, Betaflight will just switch to a default. Then I reference the screen captures, reset my sliders, and then I'm off and running with the new version of Betaflight. It's worked for me. Drop me a comment below and let me know if that's the way you do it, or if there's a reason I shouldn't be doing it this way. But let's just go ahead and do it the way that I've done it on multiple quads and not had a problem. So the first thing that we want to do is we go over to our PID tuning, and I want to do a screen capture of this screen. As you notice, I don't see all of my sliders here. That's because I've never gone in on this computer with this quad, and I need to enable expert mode here. So now I'm going to do a screen capture of this, which I already have from another PC to save time on the video. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to go to my filters and gather that information so I make sure that's correct as well. You may also want to go into your failsafe tab and get any GPS rescue data that you have in there. And it is important when you're doing the position hold and altitude hold to set up GPS rescue, because it actually will use this throttle hover position when it's doing the altitude hold or the initial altitude hold before it takes over auto control. So you might want to save that data to a screen capture as well. The other thing that I would maybe do is maybe your modes tab. If you were doing that, as you can see, it's showing all of the modes, so I'm going to hide the modes here. But anything that you're not comfortable with, just do a screen capture of it. It's better to have more screen captures than not enough screen captures. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and we'll flash the firmware. So we're just going to click on Update Firmware over here on the upper right. The first thing that we want to do is we can do an auto detect, but I know from experience we're going to want to say show release candidates, and then here we're going to do release and release candidates. So we're going to do auto detect, and this usually works most of the time nowadays, because in the previous version of Betaflight it gave a description of the flight controller and that told it what flight controller it was. And as we can see here, we have 25.12 release candidate 4. That was December 2025, this is December 2025. So the next thing we need to do is we need to configure the software. It actually will configure a specific version for this flight controller online that's a unique version for me and my quad, and it'll be for you and your quad as well. So I'm using the DJI 04 Air Unit Pro, so the radio protocol is going to be S-Bus. The on-screen display is digital, and I don't have any telemetry, and I know the motors are D-shot, so that's correct. We also have GPS here and pin IO, because I've removed the VTX because we don't need that. But I do, however, want to add my altitude hold, so I'm going to click on altitude hold, and then I want to do position hold. I want to add those two features, so those are available in the modes tab. So we've got this all set up. Take your time when you're doing this. If you have any questions about what you should do, drop me a comment and I will answer it to the best of my ability. The next thing we want to do is we want to do load firmware online, and this will take a second. So we'll click on that, and as you can see that it actually has done it pretty quick here. So it's success. And then what we want to do is flash the firmware. When we click flash the firmware, it's going to prompt us to save a copy of the CLI automatically, and we didn't do it earlier, so now's a great time to do it. So we're going to do flash firmware, and automatically it comes up with a name here. So I'm going to throw this out on my desktop, and this is for my Vapor X5 flight controller here. So we're going to save that to the desktop. And as you can see down here at the bottom, it's initializing the reboot. It can't find the flight controller, so we're going to tell the bootloader where it's at. So we're going to connect to that. And once you've done this before on your actual PC, it will put it into your cookies and cache, so you have all these settings, so you won't have to do it multiple times. As you can see, it's flashing the firmware now. The process is actually pretty fast here. While the firmware is flashing, if you've made it this far in the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up button and maybe subscribe for more content like this. Let's go ahead and get back to the install on Betaflight. All right, it says that we successfully loaded Betaflight 2025.12 onto our flight controller. The next thing I want to do is I want to go over to connect here. So we're going to connect to that. And it says, warning, problem with your configuration. Well, that's correct because there's no configuration in it. First thing that I want to do is I want to check and make sure that it's talking. And of course it is because I'm moving my quad and it's moving on the screen. The next thing that I'm going to do is immediately just go dump in the CLI from the 4.5.1. And I know it's going to give me error messages, but like I said, if there's an error message from what I found out, Betaflight will just go to a default number, and then we can change that number, usually with the sliders or in the GUI itself. So what we're going to do is go to presets here, and I'm going to do load backup. It should take me out to my desktop here to this configuration file, and we're going to open that, and that's going to put it in. And there it is, and it says warning, there's configuration problems here. So if we go down, we're going to see that there's several different problems. The GPS rescue throttle position, the number that I had in it before is not a valid number as far as this version of Betaflight. If we go down a little further into it, we'll probably see that the gyro scaling, that may or may not be a function that is available in this version of Betaflight. So at the end of the day, and you can see here the set D minimum pitch to 43, that wasn't available. So I'm going to say save anyway. Now we've gone in, it's rebooting the flight controller. I'm going to connect again. I'm going to go to my PID tuning here, and as you can see, I can't see my slider, so I know that there's been a change in the PID tuning itself. So the way to get the sliders back, if you go over here where we've got the mode, I'm going to do RPY, and we can see that we have our sliders here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this back a little bit, and I see I have my screen capture of my PIDs here. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, and I'll angle this over here to the right. We'll slide it just a little bit more. I love Windows. It never holds the position of this for some reason. And that's my filter settings. We're going to go back to our PIDs. I don't know why it opened that. So we'll get this over here. We'll pull this up here. Now, as we can see on our screen here, as we see the first number here in our PID, let's move this over just a little bit more so we can see on the screen. The dampening, we've got 0.85. The tracking, we've got 0.85, 0.75. Dynamic dampening D should be set to 0.05. And you see that's where one of the error messages were. So I'm just going to move this slider all the way over to 0.05. We've got our wobble at 1.05, 1.25, 1.35, and 1.2. So that all looks good. The next thing that I want to do is I want to click save down here just to make sure I save that. And then I'm going to go to my filters tabs and make sure you always hit save. You can't hit save too many times. So we'll jump out of this screen capture and we'll go to our filters just to verify that. Well, I'm not seeing my filters on here. Well, we'll check the filters again later on. I thought I had the screen capture on my screen, but I don't. So anyway, long story short, go to your filters tab, make sure that your gyro gain is set good, your D gain is set, and everything looks good. The next thing we want to do is we want to go to our modes tab, and we want to configure this for altitude hold and position hold. Now, I've done this on two other quads that have barometers in them, and I found the barometer, or the Baro as we call it, gives a lot of interference. I've also had trouble with that with the GPS rescue, where the quad will come down, then it'll go back up, then it'll go down, and it'll come back up. And I found by turning off the barometer, that actually cures the problem. It gets the altitude for the GPS, or excuse me, the altitude for the GPS return home from the GPS unit. So what I want to do is I want to go to my configuration tab here, and I'm going to tell it to turn off the barometers. We can see up here in the screen, we've got the barometer. So I'm going to say barometers if supported. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to say save and reboot. And We've rebooted, so let's connect it back again. We'll go to configuration and make sure that's off. And that should cure any altitude wavering that you'll have on your quad. So let's go ahead and let's go into the modes here, and I'm going to configure my pause button just like I had on the DJI Avata out there at the flight field for the pause button. So with the goggles here, it actually connects up to the remote controller, and we'll go ahead and we'll power the quad on. And I'm going to grab my handy dandy fan here to cool my quad down so there's no chance of overheating the air unit or the flight controller itself. So now we can see, if we actually go to our receiver tab here, that we have throttle here, which works well. We can actually arm the quad, which I use this button to arm the quad. So we know that the remote controller is working. The first thing that I want to do is turn off the hide unused modes. And I want to add a range for the altitude hold. So I'm going to do add a range. It's on auto now, and I'm going to use the pause button. So I'm going to press this pause button. That moves it all the way over to the right. So I'm going to move my range to the right here, and I'm going to click save. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to do position hold. So here's position hold, and we're going to add a range to that. And we're going to go ahead and use the same button here. And I pressed it twice to return it to its home position and then back over. And I usually set the range fairly large. So we'll click save on that. And we'll hide the unused ranges here so we can see on our screen that if I press the pause button, it's going to put it into our altitude hold and position hold there, which is a wonderful thing, hopefully, as you saw earlier in the video. Now at this point, everything should be good, except for there is one more step that we need to take, and this is something I didn't do the first time I did it, and I did have problems with the quad not responding as far as without the barometer or a magnetometer on it. It still darted all over the place. And as I showed you earlier, you need to fly for about 100 meters in a straight line. So the GPS arrow or the return home arrow points to where you're at, so it knows where it's at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the CLI line, and I'll go ahead and zoom in here just a little bit more. And what the command is, if you want to see the magnetometer, you type in get mag. And as you can see down here, it says position hold without mag is off. That's the default for Betaflight. Well, we want to do position hold with the mag, without the mag, excuse me. So we're going to turn that on. So what we want to type in is set, and then we'll repeat this code here, which is get, excuse me, not get. I'm ahead of myself there. So position hold and without mag, and then we're going to put equals, and we're going to tell it on. And we'll hit enter on the keyboard there. So that's in the flight controller, but we do need to save it. So we'll type in save. We'll hit enter. Now it reboots the flight controller, and everything should be good. If we want to verify that, all we have to do is go back to connect. We'll come down here to our CLI, and we'll do get mag again. And we can see that that is position hold without mag equals on, so we're good to go on that. We'll scroll back out here. We'll reset this, so my screen is now 100%. That's a neat little Google thing for us older people who have little trouble seeing small print. So we'll go ahead and we'll connect over here. And what you want to do is take your time, go over your settings. In my case, I know with this version, my on-screen display, what changes since I'm using the DJI Remote Controller 3 here, there is no RSSI going to the flight controller. That's all handled within the DJI O4 Air Unit Pro. So it's going to give me a warning, and if I look down here on my warnings, the RSSI warning is going to be there. So I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to hit the save here. The last thing that you'll want to do here is go back up to your presets, and you want to do a save backup. So we're just going to save a backup copy with all of our changes, with our modes and all that. You can call it anything you want. It has a default name. You can usually select them by the time of day that it was created. I'm just going to save that file there. So we're all good to go for our first flight. Obviously, you saw my first flight out there on the flight field because that's where I'm heading now. Thanks again for watching, and we'll definitely catch you on the next one.